Facebook and YouTube right now. If you want to join in, all you got to do is add your comments to the comment section on whatever device you're watching it on, and we would love you to be a part of the conversation and include your comments in what we're talking about. We've got a few questions to go through, a few discussions to be had in our Luke and Susie community discourse, Suze, and we're going to start with probably the most important. That is communication methods.
I have a very strong opinion about this one, actually.
All of this on the way with our Luke and Susie Live, and make sure you come and join us and leave your comments. We'd love to have you as a part of it.
Next.
The Luke and Susie quotable in just moments, and it's talking about insanity.
It's Luke and Susie with Faith, Family, Culture. It's Luke and Susie with you. We're broadcasting from Greece.
The wise words of someone from yesteryear. Suze, we are talking about communication on the show right now. Someone has asked the question, and it is a very relevant question because it's changing, I think, over the last however many years of my life. And the question is, do you like calling or texting better?
Yes.
Big question, Suze.
Well, and I suspect most people are going to fall on my side of the fence on this one.
What's your side of the fence?
Texting.
Right.
Because phone calls are an indeterminate amount of time. So when you're answering a call, you don't always know how long you're going to be caught up in that. And when life is busy and you're, well, for me, mumming and working and all of those things, it's just easier to text.
Yeah, and I can hear that, and I feel that.
And then I get on the call if I need it, like if there's stuff that needs to be communicated.
But see, this is the thing. You go, if you need it, because I go, it depends on what it is for me. If I need to know that you've got it and are going to respond to me, a text, you can sit there and just be like, have they got the text? Are they going to get back to me? I need something quick. And it's simple, and it could be text-worthy, but what if they're in a meeting and not looking at their text and I don't know and I'm sitting and waiting? Whereas a phone call, I feel like I either get them or I don't. I either say they've got the message or they haven't, and I have confidence in it. I would prefer every bit of communication mostly to go through a text, unless then you have to sit and type really, like it's a long conversation, and then the typing gets too much and I get a bit of thumb fatigue. Then texting's too much and I'd prefer a phone call. I don't know, Suze, I'm torn. I've got a foot in both camps here.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get your opinion on it. When it comes to communication, think mostly across the day.
General.
Do you prefer texting or do you prefer calls? Belinda, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Well, thank you. What's your preference? Do you prefer in print or do you prefer talking to somebody?
I prefer a call. I prefer to talk.
And so has that changed, or is that just what it's always been? You just...
I probably was doing, I still text a lot, but you find that you're texting back and forward and having to stop what you're doing and text again, and then they get longer, and I'm like, I could have said this in a 30-second, 1-minute phone call, and it's just taken me 5 minutes going back and forward on text.
Yes, and if a phone call is going to be 30 seconds, 1 minute, here's the information, great to chat. I'm all for all that.
Susie just doesn't trust people to be able to get in, get the job done and get out like she can.
I also find the phone call a lot more personal, and you can catch up and
relational.
say hi. Yeah.
And you don't have that opportunity of miscommunication, I guess, as well, when you're reading tone.
Oh, definitely the miscommunication with texting.
And if somebody says something funny and it's on the text, I write ruffle. Versus on a phone call, they get to hear me belly laugh.
Yeah, that's right.
No ruffle will actually depict how my laugh sounds. So, that's a good thing. Jess, what about you? Text or phone call? What would you go with?
Phone call all the way. I think I'm a busy mum too, but I'm always on the road. So Bluetooth in the car, being able to just speed dial someone and be like, hey, how you going? I've got 5 minutes while I'm in the car. Give me all the deets as quick as you can. And Sis, you just need to set time limits on it. I'll say to someone, you've got 3 minutes, you've got 5 minutes, you've got 10 minutes. This is the length of the conversation. So you've got to fit into my schedule here.
You got 3 minutes. Go.
Yeah, 3 minutes and counting. Yeah.
No, I can get behind that idea, because that's literally the main reason why I don't like it, is because the number of times I've ended up in extended calls that just kind of push everything out and make the rest of the day.
I've got a friend who does the driving calls like you do, Jess. And so he'll call me and go, hey, I'm going to arrive home and I've got to go to this thing in X amount of minutes. That's how long but I've just called to say.
Yeah.
And so he sets the perimeter right from the start of the call.
That's actually good.
Set your boundaries.
I'm taking notes, Jess. That's good.
Susie's going to call me, go, you've got 30 seconds.
Yeah, especially if you're pulling up to the Macca's drive-through. I've got, 30 seconds before I've got to order my coffee, so make it snappy.
I like it.
That's so good. Catherine, how about you? Is it texting or is it calling for you?
Hey, hang on a second. Who's pushing the button the second time? Here we go. Hang on a sec, Catherine. We haven't got you. Let's try now.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, got you now.
Yeah, I'm a little bit indifferent with texting and calling. During the day, no, I don't like calls because I'm a homeschooler, so it distracts the girls. And so they think it's like some kind of celebrity thing, go crazy. Oh my gosh, someone's calling us. With it, mum, and they've got to eavesdrop and then they forget what they're doing. So I prefer texting during the day. Some calls, no, I don't like you said, Susie. Some just drag on and it's like, can we just get this done with?
Yeah. So, do you know what I think maybe we've neglected over and allowed to disappear, but maybe it would serve Susie and Catherine is something like a telegram. It's short, sharp, it's to the point. It's just like you don't lose time, waste time. Just someone rocks up with a telegram. It's a short note and there's no... Yeah.
Telegram.
Yeah, all right. Let's bring them back, Suze.
All right.
Let's bring them back. But if we can do them technically and on devices, all right, that's text. Okay, I'll keep working on it, Catherine.
No worries.
But I like texting. It goes fast, so you can just go and done.
You're super speedy thumbs.
That's a different generation speaking right there. I feel like I'm not...
If you're catching up with a friend in the evening, yeah, definitely a call. You don't want to text your mate.
Don't text that.
Yeah.
You want to talk to them. But business matters, yeah, just text me.
Mama.
Have a paper trail.
Isn't that funny? Because socially, I'd rather text.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
But
Okay.
I like texting too. It's much easier. The conversation goes fast.
yeah, actually, but the thing I don't like about text is that, and some people are really good at multitasking, and that's where they can have 2 or 3 conversations at the same time. I can't do that. Like I am just that's what you do.
I'm guilty of that one.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't focus.
Doing that and gone, oops.
Yeah.
She dropped while doing the dishes into the sink.
She what?
She was doing the dishes and she dropped the phone into the sink.
Oh no.
Well,
Whoops.
so hang on a second. So Catherine, is that your daughter there? We just got it. What's your name?
This is Aaliyah and this is Gabrielle.
I call because I don't know how to spell.
You don't know how to text, yeah.
Well,
and
I think call really is the only option when you're in that pre-spelling time like you are, Gabrielle.
So
that's perfect.
Aaliyah, I just want to highlight that to stop your mum dropping her phone into the sink, there's only one solution for it, and that's for you to do the dishes.
No, go now. Go. Just don't let Luke finish that sentence. Don't do it.
If you do the dishes more, that won't happen.
Yeah. But she's not telling you how many times she's dropped the phone. We've had like 8 phones in the last 4 years.
Yeah,
I have no judgment on that. I've been through several.
I'm not saying give her the phone. Just make her do the dishes and you keep the phone. That's all.
Yeah, we agree.
I think we've.
Most of the time I actually sneak mum's phone and text people.
Right, okay. Well, we're going to have a conversation about that off to the side, perhaps. Let's go with Hannah. Hannah, what about you? Texting or calling? What's your preferred?
I prefer texting.
Right, and why is that?
Because you can talk to multiple people at the same time, and they won't know. Like if you're calling someone, you can't just start talking to someone else because they'll be like, "Why aren't you paying attention to me anymore?"
Wouldn't that be funny? Hang on a second. Just hold that thought, and then you go sort of switch over to the other line. I do have times when I'm on a phone call. This is what I don't like, and you need to go to the bathroom. Do you end the phone call, or do you just mute your side of the conversation? I just hit mute. I ask a question and then hit mute. And then I go to the bathroom.
Oh, my goodness.
And hope that their answer's long enough.
Oh, too many confessions in this topic.
Vanessa, let's wrap it up with you. Texting or calling, which one would you prefer?
Texting. As you can hear, I have a cranky baby.
Yes, and this is what you'll find as they grow up, Vanessa, is that they'll be calm and they'll be playing and everything will be fine. And as soon as you get on the phone, it
Like right
all
now.
goes to pot. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, we'll let you settle that down because we've all been there.
Oh, what a cutie.
I think it's an interesting thing because I think it does depend on context and personality and all sorts of things. But it's good that we've got texting as an option because remember back when we were kids, we only had one choice.
Yeah.
The spiral cord phone
Of the
attached
phone
to the
call.
wall.
And it took a long time to dial because you had to wait for the thing to spin back every time you did a number.
The full circle.
Yeah.
Our kids would have no idea how to actually call somebody from something like that. It would be hilarious to watch. Let's go to our next conversation, and I've just got to pull up the bank here on the right one.
I'm so glad, Luke, that you are going to be our first person to respond to this next topic because we're talking high school haircuts.
All right.
The Luke and Susie Discourse.
Suze, we have had a question that's come through to us that has been asking about our memories and maybe some of our regrets or maybe some of our trophy moments from high school. Mm-hmm. And it's not about our grades and it's not about our dreams.
Nope.
It is simply about our haircuts and whether we look back on some of those cuts and think, yeah, I nailed it, or what the heck was I thinking? Suze, do you have any high school haircut regrets or champion moments?
My high school haircuts can best be described as a bob, not on trend, and the hand teasing of the front at one period.
Yes, the satellite dish.
Yeah, 80s and 90s.
I did one of those too. I got suspended from school for a haircut.
Did you? For a haircut?
Yeah. I mean, look, they might also have described it being the last straw. There was a series of other non-haircut related things beforehand, but officially it was the haircut. And I had a shaved head with a peace symbol in the back and one of the satellite dish fringes that I would tuff up, and that was just this. Why did I want to put a bush
right on the front of our head? We all did it.
But then I shaved the rest of my head. Like I didn't. Like at least you still had hair. You still had a flowing meadow behind it.
I had a bob.
Mine was a bush in the middle of a desert. Like that was it. And then it was just a little peace symbol at the back, and I don't know why. But that was one of my regrets, allowing Mum to cut my hair. And when you talk about a bowl cut, there's like, oh, it looks like someone's put a bowl on your head and just cut around it. No, I had a bowl cut where Mum literally put a bowl on my head and cut around.
I don't know why you won't let me do that to our boys, but anyway, you've come through fine.
Some significant regrets. Yeah,
but
with trauma.
Come through fine.
But with trauma.
All right, let's talk about your high school haircuts. What was it like for you, Luke? How are you going?
I'm very well, guys. Yourself?
Yeah,
Good.
Super and improving.
You look like you're sporting a mullet. Is that right?
Yeah, going a mullet for men's health.
Oh, nice. How's it going?
Yeah, it's the second year doing it, so it's a lot better than last year. But high school haircuts, Mum used to do ours because Dad was on a budget. And
Was there a bowl involved?
No, so there was a set of clippers, and it was number one all the way to here, and then a fringe. And then
the big fringe.
She thought we weren't going to get humiliated enough, so she dyed it bright blonde, and she called it a frullet. And now
a what?
She wants a frullet. So
like a front mullet.
Yeah, exactly. And she wonders where she went wrong in life and how I've ended up with the mullet. And I showed her my high school photos, and she said, I've done this to you.
Yeah.
So here I am with a mullet.
When she's questioning your life choices, and you just get to say to her, Mum, it all tracks back to the frullet and the trauma you created. So it's all your fault, Mum.
I kind of got to say, Luke, if you can email me through a photo of that, I will find a prize for you.
Oh, please.
Make it worth your while at some point.
A photo of the frullet, please.
That's magnificent.
Look forward to being able to see that. That's a pretty impressive. So I'm assuming, Luke, if the question is there regrets from high school haircuts? You're affirmed yes.
Oh yeah, definitely that I didn't stand up to mum and say, no, I don't want this. I'm going to get picked on. Yeah. And she said, no, it's fine, it's cool.
Yeah.
Biggest mistake.
Well, it would be cool now. It would be cool now, I reckon. You could just do anything now.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, he's okay. All right, fair call. Fair call.
Awesome, you're getting behind mullets for men's health. I think that's brilliant as well. Congratulations on that. Jess, high school haircuts. What was it like for you?
Oh goodness, I'm actually a naturally curly-haired girl, and my mum used to blow dry it though. She wouldn't just let me wear it natural. So I was really rocking the just being electrocuted look, where it just was, she would just blow dry it and just go out. With a brush or anything, just put the blow dryer on it so it all stuck out, and then do 2 cute little plaits down here and a fringe to about here, and then all the butterfly clips. I went to high school in the 2000s, so it was butterfly clips all around. And I'm living with the trauma still. I've got a side fringe now because I can't quite grow out that, little tiny baby hairs you can see there from when my fringe, was right up here. So thanks, Mum. Killer style.
Oh, you just reminded me when I would go to, because my mum would take us to sort of the theatre or the ballet. And so when we were going somewhere special and we were getting dressed up, I'd pull my hair back, but I would keep 2 bits and then I would use the curling iron to curl them up.
I'm surprised it didn't fry off. We had those hot sticks, the ones that came in the pot and they were pink and purple, and you used to have to wind them into your hair and stick them on there. And how we still have hair left, Suze, I don't know.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Because I don't understand what historically women have gone through for their hair. And because I thought, I see the hair streaking happen. So I got my hair streaked with a streaking cap, and that is torture. Yeah. That is, if you had in the middle of warfare and you wanted to torture a prisoner to get them to speak, then you would put a rubber cap on their head and use a hook to rip little bits of hair through and say, tell me everything you know, or else I'll do another one. And yet you do that by choice all those years.
Yeah, look, never again. I think we've come a long way now. I pay for the hairdresser.
We have.
Yes. So you sound like the trauma of mum sort of trying to make your hair less curly, and therefore it became this frizzy. And yet,
and of course,
straight-haired girls would use crimpers.
Yes.
So you would all end up in the middle, sort of diagonal, sort of jagged edged lines instead of curls or straight, but you came from different ways to get the same look.
And you know what the cherry on top is now? Go over to mum's hair with a fresh blow dry and she'll be like, oh, I love your curls, Jessie. Where's your curls? What?
Yeah.
You can't win.
Wow.
You absolutely cannot.
What I love is we're really unpacking people's childhood trauma with this question.
I didn't know so much was associated with hair. Belinda, what was it like for you in high school? What was your hair like?
Much like you, Suze, I had long hair, but I did have a fringe and teased it and did the hairspray thing and had the thing on top for a couple of years until I finally grew that out. And
that era of female hair was probably single-handedly responsible for the hole in the ozone layer, right?
There was a lot of hairspray at that time being used. Yes.
Yeah. Like, we would environmentally be less along the track of global warming had it not been for hair in the 80s.
We all had incredibly large right biceps just from doing the move every morning.
I actually used a comb, though.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay, you did the...
Yeah, that's the much more professional way to do it. I was the lazy style.
The fountain fringe. Like, you would keep it up and it would have a flow over versus that I'm going to put incredible knots in my hair so that it stays standing. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been skilled at hair.
Very cool. I cannot wait to hear about Catherine's hair trauma. Any high school regrets, Catherine? Surely you do.
Oh, I have a hair trauma. Yes, I do. I like the lady before. I had very curly hair. You can see it now. I've got ringlety hair. So I grew it out after having it eurythmics cut when I was 12. And then she decided that she wanted to give me a haircut. When she'd finished, it was a mullet. Very unimpressed.
Yeah.
I grew it back out by the time we lived in 2 different countries. So by the time I got back to New Zealand, my hair had grown out again. So I was quite rapt about that.
Yeah. See, this wasn't high school, and it wasn't trauma, and it wasn't a regret. But one of my greatest cuts that I think that I am so proud of was what I refer to as the Trihawk. So a lot of people would rock a mohawk, which is one, sort of big spike line up the middle, whereas I had 3 of them, one on each side of my head, one up the middle. It was the Trihawk. Think Astro Boy for those who are children of the 80s. Yeah, I had wings. Like I could have taken flight if I could just get fast enough, Suze. If I managed to travel on the bike fast enough, there would be enough lift from this Trihawk. Because we were married at the point I did the Trihawk. How'd you feel walking down the street with me?
That maybe there are choices that we don't always get right, but we live with them and keep walking in faith that it's all going to work out in the end.
That was a ringing endorsement, Suze, of your love of my cut.
Hair don't.
Mum says hairdo or hair don't.
There's hairdos and there's hair don'ts. It seems like we've all experienced a hair don't that have much trauma. Yeah.
So my Astro Boy Trihawk, is that a hair do or a hair don't?
It's a bit of both. I think it's kind of cool to be different.
I say hair don't.
She says don't, but I say
there we go.
Astro is pretty cool.
Astro Boy was pretty cool.
Well, he was. And then I did for his pants. They were a bit.
I decided to cut my hair short 2 years ago, and I was like this the whole time.
With the
hoodie up.
With the hoodie up, yeah. Well,
she got like a graduated bob, and she hated it.
I wanted, let's get it. And then next I was like, nope.
Yeah.
She just.
What I love about our conversation right now, Suze, is it's very clear that there's some therapists who are thinking, fantastic, we're in for a lot of work over the next couple of months because we have just opened up the trauma of people. Okay, let's go to the comments. We've got Bruce, whose hair regrets was all over clipper job. Ali, who says, so that was from a previous conversation. Is that right? I've just missed on the texting. All on the previous one. Okay, so it's just Bruce. Was there
a picture on the screen?
There was a picture. What was the picture? What was I missing? Oh my goodness. That is good. That's a Trihawk. It's not quite. Mine was a bit more out to the side than that one, rather than sort of 3 angled up, but it's still pretty good.
It looks like a bird.
But I can't do that anymore because I've got this balding patch that happens up, and it just doesn't. Just doesn't
work.
Not
the same.
No, the middle hawk would be.
Your best option now is a comb over from your beard. It's the best at growing hair.
That and my back. I can comb over from behind up the back, and then from the beard up the side. It could be great. It could be fantastic. Everyone will love it. All right, Suze, let's go to our next conversation.
The Luke and Susie Discourse.
This is such an interesting question to think about. If you could spend 1 month at any period in the past, and you're guaranteed you're not going to suffer any harm, or you're not going to change the course of history, when would it be that you would want to go back to?
It's unreal to think about this. I mean, it's obviously one of those choices we'll never get to make. But if you got to be a fly on the wall at any moment in history, when would it be, Suze?
I've got a couple of my first thought was? I want to go back to the time of the Queen's coronation.
Right.
And I'd like to be in England, and I would like to be there when it happens. And then I thought, you know what, with a few things that are going on in my world at the moment, I'd like to go back to when Jesus was around because I've got questions that need answers.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And then I also thought I wouldn't mind going back to sort of that period in history where there were the big dresses that they wore.
Right.
Because I thought, and they go to balls all the time, and they
right.
summer in different places and go to balls.
So you want to go wear one of those big ball dresses
in the summer somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, I think there's so many things on my list, and one of them is when Jesus told the disciples to cast the net over the other side of the boat, and they just kind of reel in all the fish. And that's mostly because I want to, one time in my life, be where someone has actually caught fish. and then I'm involved in it. So I want to be on the boat and pretend I caught all those fish too. Like, okay, Jesus, which side of the boat should I cast out? And then see if even he can help me catch fish, maybe. Just don't catch enough, Suze.
Yeah.
Just want more. I don't know. There's just so many. I could just, as someone whose brain is tapped into history, and that's a love, and it's what I studied at university for a while, and I just can't even choose. I can't even think.
I know, because then you start thinking about even more ancient history than that, and there'd be some really amazing times to go back to and watch the pyramids being built or something.
And even on top of all of those things, then there's like in England for the Gadding Ball when Shane Warne bowled Mike Gadding. I know it sounds frivolous compared to all these other things, but those things where you could go, I was there. Like, and you wish I could see it firsthand and experience the atmosphere of what was it really like, because I've only ever experienced in folklore and replays. So there's so much to explore here.
Look, let's see what other people think about the best place you'd like to go back to. 1 month, you're not going to get hurt. You're not going to change the course of history. You just get to turn up and experience somewhere in time. Vanessa, where would you like to go back to?
We've just got you muted there. We just need you to unmute, Vanessa.
Sorry about that.
That's right.
Okay.
Where would you go back to?
Just like you guys, I think of like Jesus and Bible history, and like I'd love to go to like the Garden of Eden and Adam and Eve, like before the fall. Like what God actually planned for us and what that looked like.
Yeah. Fascinating. That would be really, really cool.
That would be amazing.
And there's so many points in particular some of those epic Old Testament moments where I go, it'd be cool to see
I just
that.
imagine it would be very shocking for Adam and Eve. They'd be like, where'd you come from?
And what is that material you have all over your body? All we've got is these leaves.
That was pre-leaves.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That was true. It was, yeah.
Let's have a look at Hannah. Where would you like to go back to in history? 1 month, you're not going to change the course of history and you're going to be perfectly safe. Where would you like to go?
I want to go back to when dinosaurs were alive.
Dinosaurs.
I have a son who would also enjoy that very, very much. Is this a fascination of yours?
Not that much. I just want to see dinosaurs and come back and be like, oh, I saw a dinosaur. Maybe take a few pictures.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Take
no
the
rule.
Polaroid.
There's no rule that says you can't take your camera with you.
It's true. You're not going to change the course of history.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good one. That would be quite fascinating to explore. Belinda, where would you like to go back to in history?
Fairly simple, actually. Just pre-2005 when my mum was still around. To go back and spend more time with her again.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah, that's a quality decision.
And is there a particular moment or environment or situation where you'd like to relive or to live with your mum?
Well, not long before she passed away, because she'd been diagnosed with cancer, we did take her to Fiji. So probably one of our great holidays together.
Do you have a favourite memory with her from that holiday?
Just being there. We're at the Warwick, Fiji, which was her favourite resort. So just being where she really wanted to be, and
nice.
Yeah,
that's
just
a
any
beautiful
memory
answer.
with my mum's pretty good. So
yeah.
I can. Sounds like she was a beautiful woman who you cherish very much, and we certainly can understand why you'd want to relive those moments. Producer Semi, you are someone who would often sort of. Your brain would just fry with an option like this. What's gone through your head about where you would go?
I loved Susie's dress option. Also want to go in the French Revolution where they have cake. But while I was sitting here staring at the wall, obviously I've just been around Europe, and there are unicorns in the Ireland emblem kind of thing, and we learnt about Scottish emblems. So like to go to Scotland where my family apparently was living, although I was told we were poor, so maybe someone else's family at the same time. But if it was possible to go back and see where the idea of a unicorn came from, if it was true, if I could find leprechauns, that's what I want. I want to go back to history and prove unicorns are real.
Yeah, so we're not saying you get to recreate history and make things real that aren't.
They had to come from somewhere.
Well, no, because okay. Do we need to explain how make-believe works to Sammy, Suze?
I don't think that's no. I don't think that helps her.
Live.
No, I think let her live in her leprechaun unicorn filled world. I think that's the best version of Sammy. Yep. It's my favourite version of Sammy. Anyway, Luke, where would you go back to in history?
I would like to go back to the dinosaur time to see if they were real or not. That would be kind of fun, and I think they would laugh at my hair. And they'd laugh at their feathers.
And you're not getting harmed, so it's safe to go back.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
So what dinosaur would you love to see in real life?
A raptor. I'd love to go and see if they're actually 6 feet tall or if I've been lied to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but Hollywood would never lie, Luke. So
no, never.
Pretty sure if we went back to see the dinosaurs, it would be exactly how Jurassic Park and the movies have created it, wouldn't it, Suze?
Yeah.
Wouldn't be exactly a thing corrected. Yeah, Jeff Goldblum would be there as well. Be awesome. It's fascinating to think about. If you were to go back, what experience would you want to live for yourself and to see in real life? Interesting thought. We'd love to get your thoughts on the text.
The Luke and Susie Discourse.
All right, Suze, we're going to get musical right now in our Luke and Susie Discourse. And so in one part, someone was writing to the show talking about the instruments that maybe we play, but also it was this add-on of what instrument do you wish you could play? And Suze, you dabble a little bit in some, especially with the piano and keys, but if there was an instrument you wish you could really play.
Yeah, it would be the piano. Yeah, I wish I could play the piano really, really well.
Yeah.
But I've never put enough time in to be able to do that. Or guitar as well. Yeah.
Yeah, guitar would be a good one because it's very portable.
Yes,
and so
exactly.
The campfires, the whatever. I've never seen a baby grand at a campfire.
No.
So that's a little bit more difficult.
Yet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm not saying it hasn't happened. I've never seen it. But because of that, then I think I would love to be really, really good at the ukulele.
Yeah, you've got one.
I've got one, yeah, and I've started a little bit of lessons, but I like to really be able to play because it's really portable. It's a little bit quirky. It's a little bit different, and you can just sort of anywhere can join in from anything. Whereas I've played drums, but it's just that's not the most mobile.
No,
like it's. Aside
a
from
single drum pad is fine.
yeah, or a little, I mean, I guess percussion to some extent could be on anything, but the ukulele. I wish I could play that well.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Just so it can contribute to any environment. We can spontaneously break out into ukulele sing-along.
Yeah. This is one of those questions where if it kind of strikes a chord, mind the pun, you actually could do something about it, right? It's just about having the time.
Yeah.
Having said that, we probably had the time during COVID. It's not what I chose to do with it. Jess, what instrument do you wish you could play?
All of them have my own little band. One of those people that can go along the street with the drum on their back and they've got a keyboard thing. If we're going to go in, I want to go all in.
All in, harmonica at the front.
Yep,
and the cymbals between your knees. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Let's just get it all done in one go. Off we go, my own merry band. Although, I can play the keyboard well in my heart. I feel like if you just give it your all, does it really matter if you're not sounding?
Yeah.
My kids
it's like singing, isn't it? It's what you think it sounds like and what everyone else hears.
Yeah.
They might not be the same. That's
I
okay.
sound exactly like Adele in the car on the way to work.
In answer to your question, Jess, judging by how people respond when I sing, apparently it does matter. I'm just saying that it's either just me or it does matter. Yeah. Okay, if you could play any instrument, what would you play? Let's go with Belinda. What's the instrument you wish you could play?
Piano.
Yep, and why piano?
My daughter, who is 16, can play brilliantly. She finished grade 6 when she was 13 or something.
Wow.
And she's kind of got a musical talent that no one else in this family has. So
have you dabbled a little bit? Have you had a little?
Not really. I can hear the music, so I know she's messing around. You can tell if she's messing around, and I'll say, you're not playing properly. Play the song properly. And she's like, you don't even know how to play. I'm like, well, I actually can hear that you're not playing right. But no, I can play Happy Birthday.
Oh yeah,
And Twinkle
that's
Twinkle Little Star. Yeah.
solid start.
There is a part of me that
Yeah.
wishes I could play piano because at one point I learnt just a small little bad version of Chariots of Fire on the keyboard. So I can play dun 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 dun, and I wish I could actually complete
The rest of the
the
song.
rest of that song.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, all
but I
of
can't.
it's
And
all
I
the
wish I could
flourish.
fill it out. So I was just like, complete me.
When I was younger, I had one of those keyboards where the lights lit up and you press where the light was.
Yes.
They were good because you could actually play. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're very clever.
I'm excellent at guitar, according to Guitar Hero. I really am.
Many of us were, Luke.
Yeah, very, and
Many
I'm a
of us
very
were.
good singer, according to SingStar. So really nailing every song. Aaliyah, if you could play an instrument, what would it be?
The drums, so I can torture my family at night.
That's a whole different motivation right
yeah,
there.
Yeah, it's not pure, but, it's still, we asked you for your opinion and you're living. So how do you think they would react if you started drumming in the middle of the night?
I think my neighbours and my mum would not like it.
I used to have a CD I would play very loud, and it was Chuck Berry's Greatest Hits. I won't even explain who Chuck Berry is to you. You're thinking, like, that's weird. But there was this one song that was called No Particular Place to Go. And no particular place to go. And I would play it very loud, and my neighbor came over and she said, I will give you a particular place for that to go, and it won't be comfortable. She may have suggested that I needed to stop playing it loud. So just be careful, Aaliyah, when you upset people.
Like in the morning, I listen to 96.3 in the morning and I'll blast it.
You'll blast it. Well, that's good. You keep that up.
Yeah.
Let's go to Luke. If you could play an instrument, what would it be?
I'd play the harmonica.
The harp.
The
yes.
most portable instrument.
Yeah. Well, kind of, because each harp is set to the certain key.
Mm.
And so if you only have one harp, you can only ever play in one key. So if you actually want to be flexible, you've got to carry multiple harps, which makes it a little bit less, like you need a bag full of all the different keys.
So the harmonica, you're saying, Luke, I think that's a great option. Have you given it a try at all?
Yeah, I've tried, and I failed miserably at it.
Not a natural.
Yeah.
No.
Do you know, because I learned, I could play harp a bit, Suze. I was so rusty I wouldn't be able to now, but I did it when I quit smoking. And it was instead of putting a cigarette to my mouth, it was the harmonica. And I was annoying to everybody because they knew when I was craving. It was nonstop blues in nature and in actual music. It was pretty fun.
Oh, Hannah, what instrument would you like to play?
I would like to play the trumpet, but my dad says it's too loud. But then he wants to learn to play the cello.
Oh.
And I don't understand how the trumpet's going to be louder.
Trumpet's a great instrument.
Yeah.
That's so good. Do you have a band that you, like a local band that you would join if you had the trumpet?
No, I'd probably just play in the school band.
Yeah. Perfect.
Trumpets are good.
They're excellent.
Because whenever there's a trumpet involved in a song, like it's gone to another level.
It is, yeah.
Excellent.
It's a lot of flourish that comes with the trumpet.
Yeah.
It's a good choice, Hannah. I'm behind it.
Yeah.
I support you giving it a go, actually.
and every trumpet player who plays really well looks like they're just about to explode. I love the effort. Like, whereas someone could just effortlessly strum a guitar, but you can't effortlessly play a trumpet. Like, your head looks like it's about to pop like a balloon.
Yeah. People know you're trying.
Yeah. Yeah. Very visual effort involved in the trumpet. I love it. Hey, so producer Sammy, if you were to get a musical, play an instrument, what would it be?
Well, I didn't actually answer this question myself. It was more so that my dad answered it the same way Susie did, wanting to play a piano. So what I got was a phone call saying, "Hey, Sam, guess what? I bought a piano." I was like, "Oh, cool, Dad. Are you going to learn how to play?" "No." "Does anyone in the house know how to play?" "No." "So what are we doing with the piano?" "It plays itself."
The self-playing. It's one of those, like, sort of Braille-esque sheet music things that you put it in and it...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now he can annoy the whole house by the piano playing itself loudly, and he can say it's not his fault. The piano did it.
See, I grew up watching Scooby-Doo, and every time they had those kind of pianos going, there were always ghosts in the house. And even though they never turned out to be real ghosts, it's a hard association to break.
Don't come to Dad's house.
It's funny because there's I just Google searched and there's some really elaborate, not just the Yoli time at the bar piano, but there's some like baby grand-esque looking sort of big, elaborate, very expensive self-playing pianos.
Yeah, very fancy.
I mean,
My brother did not enjoy carrying it in.
No, I bet. And I love that your dad's answer to the question is something that I don't actually have to play myself. Vanessa, how about you? If you could play any instrument, what would it be that you'd like to play?
Well, my husband actually can play quite a few instruments, so I'd probably try and pick something that he can't play, just so that I can say I can play and he can't.
Yeah, not because you want to be in a band together, just for the esteem of it.
Can he play the oboe?
No, he can't.
Well, there we go. There's one on the list. What else is there? Piano, accordion?
Maybe.
Do you know what I've grown
Isn't
fond
that
of?
piano?
I've been listening to some classical music lately. Vanessa, going back to my roots, I used to listen to classical music a lot when I was growing up. I'm a fan of the bassoon, as it turns out. The bassoon.
I don't even know what a bassoon is.
Well, there you go. Your husband definitely doesn't play one then.
Definitely not.
It's time to get on the bassoon. I love all these questions that get us to dream about what we would do if we could be bothered.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're answering because we know we will never be bothered. That this is just something we're happy just to pretend for a while.
The Luke and Susie Discourse.
Oh, Jonathan is going to out us today.
Yeah.
And honest answers only for this one. He says, after a long, tiring day, do you just sit on the couch and relax with some Netflix or get active and be productive?
Well, I mean, I know that people would expect me to say the first one, that I would just sit on the couch and relax with some Netflix. And sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not. I mean, it's never the second one. Sometimes it's Stan, sometimes it's Prime, sometimes it's Apple.
Sometimes it's lying on the bed, not sitting on the couch.
Sometimes it's Disney. Sometimes it's just YouTube. And yeah, as you say, the seat could change sometimes. But generally it falls into category A, I would suggest. Suze, I know which one you would like to do. And on occasions, you have gone through periods of this is what you've done. But generally, how would you answer?
My favourite state of being is to... at the end of, and I've got all these little sort of diary entries that remind me that actually I do much better when I'm really tired to just do something slightly active, whether it's, jump in the pool or go for a little walk or even just have a play with the kids. But lately, and I think it's a sort of a COVID overhang kind of thing, my go-to has been just get to the couch. I just want to stop. Yeah. My body just wants to stop.
Producer Sammy, sitting on the couch watching TV or getting active and productive at the end of a tired day, what would you go to?
I want to say both in the sense of I'll get home, crash on the couch, other people will come home, I'll feel guilty, and then I'll go to gym.
Right. So it's the guilt that drives you.
I think it's the fact that other people are now watching me just sit on the couch, and I'm like, I should do something.
Yeah. That's good. Well, I mean, whatever motivates you to do the thing that's best for you, right?
Yeah.
Because I think most of us know that in most circumstances, that being active and productive might actually be the healthiest in most circumstances. There's exceptions. And yet what we do is probably...
But you feel better. You might not feel great going into it, but you always feel great coming out.
And the accountability of like someone else going with you or like when they come home and like if there's someone else who's the good influence, then I'm game. I just maybe need that.
Can I just encourage you, Suze, to not just universally speak on behalf of other people? Because I can tell you a lot of feelings I have when I come out of being active and maybe going to the gym, and feeling great is not what I feel straight afterwards. Usually sore, exhausted, ready to collapse, like what the heck have I been doing with my life? Yeah. It's
even
not
mentally?
It's the long-term sort of flow on when I'm feeling, fitter and healthier. That's when I start to enjoy it more, but not in a random spot. Even mentally, I don't know. Like some days I'm a bit more fired up, but I don't know, at the end of a long, tired day, no. Not necessarily.
Let's see, Susie, what activities are you doing that Luke's obviously not? Because it might be like, if you're doing weights or lifting or something and Susie's dancing, she's definitely going to be feeling better.
I do some dancing and I do some, like I'll go down to the playground with the kids and I always end up playing on the playground.
I like that you channeled that question to the gym stuff, Sammy, because I thought at first when you asked the question, Susie was going to say cleaning. So that was going to get dangerous for me. Hannah, at the end of a long, hard, tiring day, do you sit and watch telly or some kind of streaming, or do you get active and productive?
Well, so I classify school as a long, hard, tiring day. And usually at the end of school, I have sport. So I never get time to watch Netflix and sit on the couch.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So active and productive is your go-to.
Probably the best way to be.
Absolutely.
Jess, end of a long, tiring day, do you just sit and watch a stream or do you get active and productive?
Well, I work from home a lot of the time, so I'm here by myself sitting down all day. It's get up and go for me, just to get out in the world and see a different four walls to the ones I'm looking at all day.
Now, we don't know each other really well, but the experience we've had with you, I would suggest sitting still and quietly is not your go-to.
No, I wouldn't say it's my strong suit. My idea of a good time is probably a bit like Susie's, cleaning, reorganizing the entire pantry, whatever I can find to clean or organize. That's very relaxing.
And you feel so good when it's done.
Yeah. If Netflix is going to be on, it'll be home edit in the background. Get me some Marie Kondo happening to give me that motivation to organize my life. I want to see some joy being sparked around here.
Yeah. Well, that's good. See, cleaning doesn't spark joy for me, so that's why I try and get rid of it as much as possible. I'm doing better, Suze, though, aren't I?
Yeah, I'd say you're doing a little bit better.
First half. Oh, good. Okay. So clearly not as well as I thought I was doing. That was a lacking enthusiasm response. All right.
Vanessa, what's it like for you at the end of a long, tiring day? You've got a baby as well. Do you want to just sit on the couch and relax, or are you keen to get active and productive?
I'm definitely a couch potato at the end of the day.
It is that season of life for you at the moment right now.
Even before children or just after the baby?
No, I was probably more productive before children.
But there is something about young children, and when the time you get down is when they're napping, and there is I need to nap while they nap kind of absolute temptation this might be the only chance I get.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is good. We're starting to learn ourselves well.
We are.
And I've learned that maybe I'm not growing in the cleaning category as much as I thought I was.
Maybe not. Belinda, how are you at the end of a long, tiring day? Do you like to just get out and about, get active a little bit, or do you like to just... It's been a long day already. It's already been tiring, so you've already been doing stuff, so time for the couch.
Yeah, I don't couch it. I don't do TV. Too much to do to sit down and do TV. I'll sit down on the couch and have a cup of tea, though, and a biscuit. But once that's done, I'm up and going again, whether walking around. I've got lots of animals and a big property, so plenty to do, and whether it's out feeding the wild birds and stuff like that. So, yeah, don't catch it, although I have someone special in my life. So I have sat on the couch a little bit more, watching a movie or two lately.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, other than that,
so the animals you have, is it mostly wild birds that you're feeding, or do you have actual animals that you care for?
I've got chooks and goats, and used to have alpacas, but lost the last alpaca a little while ago. But yeah, and cats and dogs and other wild stuff that comes.
They take effort,
So, yeah.
I like the fact, Suze, that with what Belinda said, you went, tell me about the animals. And I'm thinking, tell me about the special somebody who's making you sit on the couch.
How long's that been going on?
No, I'm waiting for the answer. Is it too new for you to talk to us about it? Is that?
No, not new. Luckily, he's not online listening, but no, not lovely Christian guy. We're actually both into Lego, so we do a lot of Lego So if I'm not, I'll be sorting Lego or building Lego. I display Lego, like locally, the big shows that you go to up in the Hunter, I'm part of that group. So yeah, I don't sit down and watch TV. I'm doing something. Or
So
cleaning.
when are we going to see you on
amazing.
Lego Masters?
Lego Masters. Actually, the winners from last season were from our group, so yay!
Hey,
very exciting. Yeah,
that is cool. I love everything about that.
Yeah,
that's so good.
Yeah,
very nice. We've had connections with multiple seasons of Lego Masters, so you could be our connection with the next.
Yes.
One. Yeah.
I support this idea.
My auntie was on season one of Lego Masters, and so to speak to my auntie, I had to go through PR to get permission to talk to her on the phone. It was the most.
That's the only time you get me and my children sitting down watching television. Every year since Lego Masters has been on, we'll sit down and we watch that, and that's literally the only commercial TV we'll watch. Yeah,
us too. Yep. It's our main show as a family. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. Hey, it's been great to hear everyone's thoughts on this. You can text through 0417 455 37. And thank you to everyone who's been involved and online and been a part of it. And hello to Ali and to Brian and Lynette and Jessica and Casey and Simon who have been texting through as well, to Joe who was there at the start. And thank you to everyone for being involved. We're going to wrap things up for another day. And hopefully we'll catch you again soon. Bye.